Good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. This morning has been bananas with technology. So, we are live now, and let me know. I'm going into all these different things. Let me know if you are here because, like I said, it was being a little bananas this morning, and so I had to actually just go live here in the group. So if you're joining me, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Well, let me know that you're here, despite our crazy tech problems that we're having today. Let me get in here, and because, now I'm not like exactly ready the way I was supposed to be. So, all right. Let's see here. So, let me know if you're here. I'm going live straight from Facebook inside of our group. And so normally I use a streaming platform, but it was not giving me permissions this morning. So what I will tell you is if you come back in on the replay, we will be posting this onto the other locations and other channels that we normally use. But you know me, like let's go ahead and roll with the punches. So today the idea was when you dream about the future, is one of your goals to build an empire? Now, I have to tell you, an empire by definition is a large commercial organization owned or controlled by one person or group. I know a lot of times when you talk about empires, there's maybe some negative connotations to empires. And so that's why I wanted to kick it off with the actual definition of an empire. So, my friends, if you're joining me, say what's up. Let me know that you're here. Things have been wackadoodle with technology this morning, but we just go with the flow, right? We're going to make the best of it. So in this week's episode, we're really going to dive into what building your empire looks like and why it's really important for you to take time to set and get clear and set your goals so you know how to get there and what that looks like. Hello, Amber. Oh my gosh, this technology this morning. Bananas. So, if you've stumbled upon this too somehow, I'm Erin Bird and I support dance studio owners and educators to really grow their businesses without the burnout, the overwhelm, or sacrificing their personal lives, because the truth is you don't actually have to do all of that. You can create your empire without going cuckoo loca, okay? Like this technology is making me today. But overall, big picture, right? So we're going to dive into that today. Now, if you come back in on the replay, we want to know that as well, because this is a conversation, my friends. This is us having a chat and really, getting to the point of what it is that we so desire for ourselves, right? And I think that when I first started my business, I was like, I had very specific goals of what I wanted, what I needed from the business. And it was great. It helps me achieve what I want to achieve. Now, empire building was not part of that when I first started. I was looking to replace my corporate gig that I was working in, my corporate job. And so, I didn't necessarily want to build an empire. I just needed to replace what I was doing initially, and while my babies were young. And as my babies have gotten older, I'm looking at things like, how do I create more impact? How do I create a legacy? And that all is part, building an empire is part of that. It feeds into that. Now, right now if you have not already for the season, right now is a perfect time for us to get clear on our goals for the season ahead and for the future. So if really, right, building a commercial, which is what we have commercial businesses, right? if part of it is really growing that, then this right now, today, I want to dive into how we get clear on our goals, and then, of course, why they're so important. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is SMART goals. Now, you might have heard this acronym, SMART goals. Now, if you haven't, I'm going to dive into those today because I think they're really important when we are getting they help us get crystal clear on our goals. So the S in SMART is specific, because having a clear, specific outcome in mind is really it's super important for us to making a SMART goal. It's key. It's essential. It means that you are narrowing your focus. I almost say sometimes like putting that blinders on, the horse blinders on. But really, when it comes to marketing, lead generation, data, sales, customer service, retention management, like there are so many things that you could take a look at. And so when we can get a concise picture, when we're very specific, right, in what we want to achieve, then it helps us create the steps that we need to achieve that goal. Okay. I'm like looking at this coffee. I'm like, clearly I'm not talking great. So like, let's get this going a little bit more. I don't know about you. This is first. This is first right now. Okay. The second part of SMART is the M. And the M it stands for measurable. If you've been in my camp for a while, you know I talk about tracking and measuring. Track and measure. And this is true when we are setting our goals as well. It's important for us to, have metrics set up and a way to track our data to know and evaluate whether we have actually met our goal. Okay. And so measurable goals and objectives, they can be quantitative, but I want you to know that they can also be qualitative, and they can really, show you where you're going. Okay. So quantitative and qualitative. Qualitative. I'm like, I can't talk this morning. Oh my gosh, this whole tech thing has got me kind of crazy. Okay, then the A is achievable. It's important to kind of prioritize achievability. And now this isn't talking about I don't want to say dumbing it down, but like playing small. Okay, I don't want you to like play small because you're like, I don't want to give myself a goal that I can't achieve. We want to stretch and we want to grow, but they have to be achievable. If I were to say, I want to buy my own private airplane, and I want to do that by the end of this month, that is not achievable. I mean, like, I don't really think that's achievable by the end of this month and the next 2 weeks for me to, increase my revenue and my profit margin enough to buy a private plane. It's not achievable. But, right, we do want to stretch ourselves. And so, but we do want them to be achievable, right? And so we do want to set achievable goals. And it helps you kind of learn how to like experiment with things and like see like, what works best to get there. Now, the R in the SMART goals system is relevant. And I'm going to take a moment to talk about this real quick because your goals need to be relevant to what you actually desire. What is it that you really, really want? Not what you think you need to do. What do you really, really want? And so they have to be relevant. Your goals have to be relevant to what it is that you so desire. Okay. And so many times we do things that aren't actually relevant to what we really, really want. And they end up straying us from like who we're being, who we want to be. Like, and then I say it's like a mission stray. We either get shiny squirrel syndrome, squirrel, and then like we veer off. And so our goals need to be relevant about what do we really want? What's our North Star? And like make sure that they're all in alignment to that. And then the T is timely. You need to have a time frame in which you want to achieve these goals. You need to set the date. Set the date. Set the date, right? Like you need to set a date. A deadline can be a powerful motivator. How many of us here in school, when you were in school, whether it was elementary school, high school, college, I don't know, but how many of you here were like the ones to write your essay or the paper that was due the next morning? Like you waited till the last minute, you kind of procrastinated and you waited till the last minute, and then all of a sudden it's like you popped it out, that deadline was looming and you turned it out and you still got an A. I was that person, unfortunately. Your issue is once it's a goal, it's a demand, and your ADHD demand avoidance kicks in. Okay, totally get that. My daughter has ADHD, and it is a real thing. So we need to look at how do we work with that, right? And how do we make sure that you recognize that, the demand avoidance is a real thing, right? But how do we work with that? And so this is where SMART goals are great, but we can look at it in a bigger frame. It might not be so specific where it's like, and we have to look at the runway, like the mile markers, what makes the most sense. So Elizabeth, I totally get it. And I will have to say, like, I'm learning more and more about it. But I think that we should still set deadlines or goals when it pertains to looking at by, fall, if it's not even an exact thing, right? Okay, yes. Knocking out a 4-page paper in 20 minutes and you get an A, right? So this is where we have to maybe like reverse engineer the demand avoidance. We have to like kind of play a game with it and trick it a little bit. So I think we could talk about that a little bit more. But anywho, getting clear, I digress. Going back to what we were like talking about. Getting clear on your goals is so important for you to actually to build a business and a life and of your dreams. Build that empire. What does that look like to you? And what your vision of success and what your empire is meant to look like is not the same as mine. It is not the same as anybody else's. We get to decide what our empire looks like. And I don't ever want us to think of building an empire as a negative thing. You can do more. You can make a bigger impact. You can create a legacy if that's what you so desire. But we have to get clear on our goals and our why behind doing them. And our why. And right now is the perfect time to revisit that. Now, when you start to set lofty goals, and if they feel like they're stretching you, you're on the right path. If it feels easy, or if it feels like, oh yeah, like no doubt can get that, then you might be playing a little bit small, and you might not be leaning into your full and true potential because of fear, and I don't want anybody to live in that space. But what is it? Do you feel like if you're here, you feel like you were meant for more? You were meant for greatness. You were meant to do big things. And I feel like I'm at a place in my life where I am done, you know, play or like being what anybody else wants me to be, or playing small, or not censoring myself. Like, I am who I am, and I know that I want to create impact. I want to build an empire. I want to create legacy. Now, my empire looks a little bit different than other people's empire, right? I want to serve our community through our outreach program, through the arts, in the biggest way possible. I want to touch the lives of students, as many students as I can, at this stage in the game, right? And for me, that is part of the empire, right? Would most people say that we're a little wackadoodle by serving 12,000 students this season? They would, right? I know what it sounds like when I tell people, yeah, we have 12,000 students this year. Can I tell you guys, at one of the conferences, I was talking to one of the costume suppliers, one of the costume dealers, and she's like, okay, well, how many students do you have this year? And I said, 12,000. And she said, excuse me, did I hear you wrong? He said, no, you did not hear me wrong. We are serving 12,000 students this season. Okay. Now, I know that that is not everybody's idea of success, and it shouldn't be, right? It's still a little, like mind-boggling to me too when I say that. But my friends, right now I am in empire building, legacy building mode. I want future goal 12,000 students, right? Like, I know it's kind of bananas, okay? And so, but that to me is building an empire, building a legacy, creating impact in our community that is going to change the lives of not only students, but of families and our community as a whole. Like, I always read statistics, and I know the statistics when it comes to students having access to arts education and what it actually does long term for our community, for our crime rates, for our graduation rates. Like, I know all the statistics. So I'm in a place in my life where I want to see our community thrive. And a piece of that is being able to give arts education to as many students as possible. Okay? So while I know 12,000 students is not everyone's like, that, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Because honestly, there's a lot to that, right? There's a lot to making that happen. So I get it. Totally get it. My point being is, no matter where you're at in your journey and where you're at in this season of life, your goals are your unique goals, and you can build your own empire, right? It's not about necessarily taking over the world, but what is it that you're doing in your backyard, in your community, to make a difference? And not only for all the students, but for yourself, okay? So, my friends, who here, let me know in the comments, have you heard of SMART goals before? Have you used them when you are sitting down and creating your goals for the season? And are you ready for the season ahead? Are you ready for the season ahead? Are you ready to take on these big goals, right? And here's the thing, what I love doing with my clients is getting really clear on what it is that will make their heart sing, bring them the most joy, and then create a plan to get there. And so if you need a little support creating that plan to get there, or you need a little support in like even just laying out the big picture, I would love to do that for you. I'm totally your gal. Let me tell you, like, it makes my heart so happy. And sometimes, oh, okay, perfect. Acronym is new, but got the goal set. Yes, you do. Okay, so I'm going to put that here so everyone can remember. So SMART goals is what we went over. So my friends, we're here to support you. I also put out a little love tap because I was getting lots of questions about increasing the visibility in our community so we can increase our enrollment. And so I put out a little love tap and asked if people would be interested in me doing a workshop on visibility, increasing your visibility. And we have gotten quite a few yeses. So keep your eyes peeled because I am going to dive into doing a training on increasing your visibility to help you increase your enrollment this season. So keep an eye out for that. And my friends, y'all, we are down to 3 private rooms and one shared room spot for the Dance Studio Owners Business Retreat in Ireland this November. So if you've been thinking about it, my friends, let's have a conversation. I don't want your luck to run out. The luck of the Irish. I don't want your luck to run out and you lose a room. So my friends, if you've been thinking about that, let me know. We can chat about Ireland if it's the right fit for you. And you may have been chatting, and I love that you've been chatting it up in the other groups since it's changed your life. It could be a total game changer. And visibility, it's the key, and it's a piece that we just don't get taught about, and like the actual psychology behind it and all of the things. So I love sharing, I love sharing about visibility. So I'm going to leave you there. I hope you all have a fantastic week. I will be seeing you guys, I believe, so next week might be pre-recorded because I'm going to be traveling for the show, but it's going to be on creating a legacy. And then we will probably be diving into that visibility training. So we'll get you in there. I'm going to leave you there. I hope you have a fantastic week, my friends, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye, guys.